He almost didn't open the door that night. Rain poured like punishment from the sky, thunder echoing through the small, broken house where single dad Ethan tried to get his daughter to sleep. But when he finally did, when he saw the trembling woman on his doorstep, soaked to the bone, clutching a torn handbag, he had no idea that letting her sleep on his couch for one night would completely change his life. By morning, she'd make a single phone call, one that would rewrite everything Ethan thought he knew about kindness, luck, and love. Ethan Blake had learned one thing in the past 3 years. Life doesn't wait for anyone. After his wife Mia passed away in a car accident, he was left with their 6-year-old daughter Lily and a mountain of unpaid bills. He worked double shifts at a garage, fixing other people's cars while his own dream, opening his own workshop, rusted away in the corner of his mind. Every night was the same: microwave dinners, homework battles, bedtime stories read through tired eyes. That night, rain lashed against the windows like it had something to prove. Ethan was tucking Lily into bed when the knock came, soft at first, then desperate. He frowned, wiping his greasy hands on his jeans. Who could that be at this hour? When he opened the door, he froze. A young woman stood there, soaked to the skin, shivering violently. Her clothes clung to her like paper. "I'm sorry," she stammered. "My car broke down a few blocks away. My phone died. I've been walking for an hour. I just need somewhere dry until the rain stops." Ethan hesitated. He didn't trust strangers, not anymore. But then he saw Lily peeking from behind his leg, eyes wide and worried. Something in that moment softened him. "Come in," he said quietly. "You'll catch pneumonia out there." The woman, Clara, smiled weakly. "Thank you. I'll stay out of your way." He handed her a towel, offered her tea, and let her sit on the old couch that had seen better days. They didn't talk much, only that her car had broken down on her way to the city and she was traveling for a meeting. When Ethan went to his small room later, he couldn't sleep. Something about her didn't fit the picture. Her clothes, though wet and worn, were expensive fabric. The way she spoke, the calm in her voice, it wasn't what you'd expect from a lost traveler. Still, he shrugged it off. The world was full of mysteries. And kindness, he believed, should never need proof. Sunlight spilled through the curtains, painting soft gold on the walls. Lily was the first to wake, tiptoeing to the living room where Clara had fallen asleep on the couch. "Daddy," she whispered, tugging his sleeve. "The lady's awake. She's making pancakes." Ethan blinked. What? Sure enough, when he entered the kitchen, Clara stood there, in his worn apron, flipping pancakes like she'd lived there forever. "I hope you don't mind," she said with a small smile. "You didn't have much in the fridge, but I made do." Ethan laughed awkwardly. "I didn't expect my guest to cook. It's the least I can do," she replied. As they ate, Clara asked questions, gentle ones, about Lily, about his work, about how long he'd lived there. Ethan spoke honestly, about his struggles, his late wife, and how he'd been saving every penny for his dream, to open a small garage where he could work for himself and still be there for Lily. When he finished, Clara looked at him differently, not with pity, but with a quiet admiration. Then, after breakfast, she stood and pulled out her phone. "I need to make a quick call," she said softly. He nodded, not thinking much of it, until he overheard her saying words that didn't make sense. "Yes, it's him, the single dad. Transfer the funds to the account I'll text you, and tell them to prep the property deed. I'll handle the rest personally." Ethan blinked, thinking he'd misheard. But when she hung up, she turned to him with tears in her eyes. "Ethan," she began, voice trembling, "I wasn't just passing through. I'm the new owner of the auto company down the highway, the one that laid off half its workers last year. I came here to see how people were living after that. Your story reminded me why I started in the first place." He stared, speechless. She smiled softly. "I just called my office. Tomorrow, the building 2 blocks from here, the one with the For Leasy sign, it's yours, fully equipped, paid for. You'll have your own garage." Ethan, his heart stopped. You can't be serious." "I am," she said. "You opened your home to me without knowing who I was. Now I'm opening a door for you." The tears filled his eyes as Lily hugged his leg, smiling up at him. He tried to speak but couldn't. Clara placed a hand on his arm. "You reminded me that kindness doesn't come from wealth. It creates it." The sign above the new garage read, "Lily's Auto Care," Every customer who walked in left with more than a fixed car. They left with a story of hope. Clara still visited, often bringing coffee and business advice. But Ethan knew what she really brought, a reminder that one act of kindness on a rainy night had rewritten two lives.